Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tomisin Balogun and I'm very excited to have you. Thank you for always watching my videos, for sharing, for subscribing, for liking. So let's get right into today's video. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you some of the difficult lessons that I've learned about marriage. I don't really love to talk about marriage because I'm still a young person in marriage and I'm still learning, but once in a while, why not? It was also my 8th wedding anniversary recently, so I just thought, okay, let me share some difficult lessons that I've learned. And the first lesson that I would like to share is that love can turn to hate. Hey! And I'm not even joking. In marriage, love can turn to hate. If you don't guard your love, if you don't guard your marriage, love can turn to hate. And if you don't heal, this one is so important. If you don't heal, your lover can turn to your hater. And you that is loving somebody, you can start to hate the person. I don't know if anyone can relate. If you can relate to this, if you've been married for a while, please drop it in the chat if you can resonate with it. You have to continually heal. You have to continually go on that journey of healing. One of the areas where I've had to experience healing and continuous healing in my life is in the area of marriage. If you don't embrace healing as a lifestyle, you can't survive in marriage. That's one of the difficult lessons that I've learned, and it makes me to continually be on that journey of healing. The second lesson is that you can bring good baggage into your marriage. This one is so funny because we talk about bringing baggage into marriage and all of that, but the truth is that you can actually bring good baggage into your marriage. Like, grew up in a very beautiful home, your parents are very intimate and you had such a beautiful growing up. It can actually it can really paint you an ideal picture of what marriage looks like, and when you get into marriage and you're seeing some things that don't look like what you believed in, it can start to affect you. I remember that I'm a daughter of a pastor. I'd always had that perfect imagination. I didn't really want to marry a pastor, but consciously or unconsciously, I painted a picture of a pastor. And I was expecting that in my husband. My husband is actually a pastor, in the real sense of it. But, in the earlier days of our marriage, I really struggled a lot. Healing again is so important. I didn't know the reason why I was placing those expectations. I didn't know why I was angry at some things that I was not seeing, until I started to embrace healing as a lifestyle, and I started to ask myself questions. Why am I angry? So I placed some unrealistic expectations on my husband in the earlier days of our marriage. You can bring good baggage into your marriage. Some things that you bring into your marriage, they're actually good things because you grew up in quote and unquote ideal home. So those things can affect you in your marriage if you don't pay close attention to it. Another difficult lesson that I had to learn is that healing from your childhood traumas is so important. Oh my goodness. And don't say because you grew up in a beautiful home you don't have childhood traumas. Everyone has childhood traumas. That is the truth. And you must decide to heal. You must decide to go on that healing journey, whether before your marriage and even in your marriage. Healing must be embraced as a lifestyle. So you must heal from your childhood trauma, because if you don't heal, it's going to affect your marriage. It's going to affect you in your marriage. So that's one of the lessons that I had to learn, that you have to heal. If you don't heal, it's going to affect you. Another lesson that I want to highlight is that intentional communication is the butter in the bread of marriage. Oh my goodness. If you are not communicating, your marriage cannot last. Like, it's such a hard lesson that I had to learn, that you have to be intentional about communication. Very important. That's like the butter in the bread of marriage. Communication is so key. The next difficult lesson that I had to learn is that your naivety will eventually affect your marriage. I came into marriage as a naive young Christian girl. I knew about marriage, I'd read about it, done marriage counseling, but I still had this naive nature in me, and it really affected me, and I had to heal. Again, healing is so important. I had to grow in marriage. If you are a pastor's child, for example, in Nigeria we call it homo get inside, like all this, you lived in a controlled environment, you grew up in a controlled environment, and you're naive. You have to wake up. In marriage, you have to wake up. You have to grow. You have to grow with wisdom if you want to succeed in marriage. Another lesson that I learned is that in marriage, with all your spirituality, the devil can use you. It was such a hard lesson. I didn't know that with all your, I'm a child of God, I'm this, I'm that, the devil can use you. Just give him a little space like this in your marriage. Bam. You just find out that you are instrument of the devil. We will not be instruments of the devil in Jesus' name. So that's one of the lessons I had to learn. That you can be an instrument of the devil with all your spirit gymness. Like, with all your spirituality. So you have to pay attention. You have to be intentional about everything. Another lesson is that your marriage cannot produce what you do not invest in it. This one is so big. Like, if you have issues in your marriage, and maybe you are angry that your husband is not doing something, or your wife is not doing something, and the anger is consuming you, you have to take a step back and think about it. What I really desire from this marriage, have I really invested in it? Can my marriage at this point, can it produce what I really desire? That's one of the lessons I had to learn. You have to keep investing every day. So there are some things that you require from your marriage that your marriage cannot produce yet. It depends on the journey that the couple has been. The journey that they've been from childhood, even up until now, the kind of work that they have put in their marriage. So many things are involved into determining how much the investment can produce in that marriage. So if your marriage cannot produce what you have not invested in it. That's one of the lessons I learned. And the last but not the least lesson that I've learned, difficult lessons that I've learned, is that if you remove God from your marriage like this, bakam, that's the end. God is the anchor of our lives, and is also the anchor of our marriage. Like, if you remove God from it, everything is going to end. So you have to be intentional about your relationship with God in your marriage, as an individual, as a couple. It's so important. God is the one that holds our lives together. So you cannot do marriage without God. Like, you cannot. There is no way you want to do it. You cannot succeed in marriage. You cannot even survive in marriage without God. So important. There are actually so many lessons, but I just decided to stick to these 8 lessons because it's my 8th wedding anniversary, and I just to share some of these lessons that I've learned. I hope this helped someone. If you have questions, please put them in the chat, and I'm going to answer them. If you are struggling to find healing and find true joy that will eventually translate into your marriage, because most of the work that we need to do in our marriage is actually on ourselves. You don't really have control over the other person. You have control over yourself. So most of the work that you're going to do in your marriage is actually on yourself. Everything that you want to experience, most of the time, it usually begins with you. So if you want to work with me, you want to experience healing in your life, you want to heal from your childhood traumas, you've experienced some painful experience in your life and you have to heal from them and it's affecting your marriage, you can book a session with me with this link, in the description below, and let's have a chat. Let's just enjoy ourselves. Let's enjoy the process. I'm an emotional health and wellness coach, and what I do is that I create safe havens for women to onboarding, to heal and to reclaim their joy. So book a session with me and I'll be happy to have you. Thank you so much everyone for watching this video. I hope it helped you. Please share, subscribe and like this video, and I will see you in the next video. If you have topics that you would like me to treat, please put them in the comments. Bye.